Hello, the Pioneer viewers. We continue report on Russia-Ukraine war. The war continues with intense clashes and mutual attacks on the front. While the mutual attacks of the parties continue, important developments are also taking place behind the front line. Many developments affecting the war processes find their place in politics and the international agenda. The states may have to take the extraordinary decisions in times of the war. In order to take critical decisions, it is necessary to retain the support of the people. Decisions taken without the support of the public can lead to the public reactions in a short time. The public is not interested in why politicians make decisions. What is important for the people is that their welfare and living standards are not deteriorated. Another characteristic of the times of the war is that the chance of error is very low. People who make mistakes or influence the process can lose their positions. The danger is that important people disappear during critical periods. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is approaching its second year. The war, which has been going on for nearly 2 years, has led to many important developments. Russia's attacks on Ukrainian territory were soon met by the Ukrainian army's defenses. The Ukrainian defense strengthened day by day and achieved significant successes against the Russian army. The disappearance of important people in Russia has become a well-known practice. Various allegations highlight some points about suspicious disappearances or death. In previous periods, many senior Russian officials had disappeared. The latest news questions the alleged whereabouts of the senior Russian generals. Another development is that the results of the survey conducted in Russia did not satisfy Putin. It is being discussed how Putin, who has started to lose the support of the Russian people, will make a move to regain support of the people. Now, if you are ready, let's examine the latest developments together. As the Pioneer, we continue to report on Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily map reports and reports on the agenda. I also read all your comments on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments. Tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on the Pioneer channel. Let's start if you're ready, the Pioneer reports. There are many claims about the Russian generals who disappeared while the war was going on at the front. It seems very difficult to reach any information about the status of the Russian generals. The lack of any official statements by the Moscow administration makes the allegations more complicated. Since the first days of the war, the Kremlin has not demonstrated strong communications. The information shared about the war has been insufficient and cursory. In general, the Kremlin's statements have been propagandists. As such, Russian sources were not preferred for the information on the war. In addition, the lack of statements from the Russian officials on issues related to Russia led to the preference of the different sources and the spread of many allegations. One of the allegations that emerged was about the senior generals in the Russian army. The first of the allegations started after the Ukrainian army's attacks on the Russian Navy in recent months. In the attack carried out by the Ukrainian army on the headquarters of the Russian Black Sea Fleet, 34 Russian officers were neutralized. Following this attack, claims spread that the Russian Admiral Viktor Solokov had lost his life. Although there was no official statements from the Russian authorities, the findings shows that Solokov was there. Another top general of the Russian military chief of general staff, Valery Gerasimov, has also been absent from public view for a long time. Last month, an attack was organized by the Ukrainian army on the Russian military command post. After the attack by the Ukrainian army, allegations emerged that Gerasimov was in that outpost. Russian authorities did not make an official statements on this issue either. The attack occurred near the military unit in the Sevastopol region, near the city of Yevpatoria. Mikhail Troitsky, a professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, said that the other day that Russia's relative silence has cast doubt on the information about the ongoing conflict and the whereabouts of the senior military commanders. He said that it was not surprising that the information on the commanders had not been made public and that there was a lack of information. However, Troitsky said political leaders may prefer not to allow commanders to speak in public or on record open the press, even if they are alive and well. But the job of the senior commanders is to plan operations in the public eye, he added. While the status of the senior Russian generals remains in doubt, local sources say that they were neutralized in the Ukrainian offensive. Many articles and news reports have also raised allegations about the status of the commanders. The ongoing tense atmosphere in Russia is also causing different developments regarding the war. The Moscow administration, which has failed to show the desired success on the front line, is trying to unite the public ahead of the upcoming elections. The Moscow administration, which is afraid of getting the reactions of public, is planning to gain a great deal of support again through propaganda. Polls are frequently conducted in Russia in order to see the reactions of the public. The results of the new survey conducted recently were quite surprising. The results of the poll were not to the liking of the Moscow administration and Putin because they revealed the level of anti-war sentiments in Russia. More than a third of Russians polled said they would prevent their country from invading Ukraine if they could turn back the clock. This is the highest level of opposition to the Russian President Vladimir Putin over the war since it began. In the poll of 1,600 respondents, 37% said that if they had the chance to go back in time, they would definitely cancel Russia's military operation, demonstrating the Russian public's reaction to the war. The survey results shows that the support for Russia's invasion attempt is decreasing day by day. It is observed that the Russian people's complaint about the problems arising from the war have increased. The survey results shows that the citizens between the ages of 18 and 45 are more likely to say that the war should end, and almost half of the respondents in this age range rejects Putin's aggression. The survey groups also found that citizens over the age of 45, as well as the male respondents, were more likely to support Kremlin's military operation. The poll results were released ahead of Russia's next presidential elections, in which Putin is expected to win a fifth term in office. A handful of candidates, including Boris Nadezhdin, a member of the center-right Civis Initiative Party who campaigned on the promises to bring peace and end to the conflict in Ukraine, have announced their aim to challenge the Kremlin leader's re-election. It remains to be seen whether the tense atmosphere in Russia ahead of the upcoming elections will be the harbinger of their change in Russia. What do you think about the disappearance of the Putin's top generals? What do you think would happen to the top Russian generals? What do you think about the polls conducted in Russia? Do you think the polls reflect the truth? And what do you expect from the upcoming presidential elections in Russia? I care about your opinion. Please share it with me.